everyone. I wanted to do a video on how negative self-talk impacts us. Um, if you have connected with any form of mental health clinician, you'll notice that a lot of times the conversation is surrounded changing your self-talk. Why this is because our negative self-talk changes the way our brain works. It also changes the functioning in our central nervous system. So imagine that, the things that we take in, the messages we take in about ourselves, the messages we send ourselves, it changes our sense of safety and security in the world. So when we say something bad about ourselves, I lied to somebody, therefore I'm a liar, I keep lying, I must be a liar. What happens is that our central nervous system perceives this as a threat. So when we start to go into any sort of pain or discomfort, we have an activation, and what happens is our system locks up, doubles down, and then uses the current coping habits to survive. So, in the realm of addiction, when people find gambling or substances or pornography or shopping, collecting, these oftentimes become coping mechanisms that provide short-term relief and quick escape from largely our feelings or our experiences in the world. So, the dangerous part of this and why it's not just so easy for people to stop is because negative self-talk comes in, system perceives it as a threat, we look for the things that provide relief. And so that's why people become addicted to a lot of these problematic behaviors. So the more that we continue to do this, the self-talk, the same patterns, the more this starts to form in our brain. So picture this. I have an experience where I lie to somebody. I kind of create this path in the brain that now says, I'm doing this, right? The path isn't fully formed. I can just sort of see that lying is sort of a coping mechanism to get out of a difficult situation. So the more times I say, I lied, I feel bad about it, I lied again, I feel bad about it, think of it as starting to pave that pathway. So now it's a pathway easily traveled in the brain. So this is how our brain makes room for not only our bad habits, but the way that we think and feel about ourselves. Okay, so you're a person that does engage in a lot of negative self-talk. What do you do? The answer sounds simple, but it's actually a very difficult practice, especially if it's a practice that you're not familiar with. The practice is self-kindness. So the people that I see evolve the most are those that can practice self-kindness and be very determined to rewire some of these ways of thinking about ourselves. So the idea is that if you're getting started, for every negative thought that presents itself, the idea is to implement a positive thought, right? And the positive thought should be true. There are positive things about ourselves, even if we fall into the habit of, doing bad things. Doesn't mean we're a bad person. And I think that's even a great way. So, I'm a bad person. I just lied. But I'm trying to be honest. I want to be honest. And so we can sort of replace that. And what the brain does is instead of traveling down that same pathway, it starts to rewire and say, oh, there's a new pathway. And this is the pathway of being kinder to ourselves, being gentle, being empathetic. And so for every negative thought, we can challenge it with a positive. I also have another practice I'd like to share, and again, this can be difficult for some people, but this has been very helpful for me. And so it's the idea that in the morning is the best time to practice. It really sets the tone to your day. You can also do this at any point in the day, in the evening, but the idea is that you take 25 deep breaths. I won't do 25 right now, but to give you an idea, we want to inhale and bring the energy in our system up, and then we want to exhale through the mouth, and we want to let all that energy out. I find it helpful to make a little bit of a noise on the exhale just to push the energy out of our system because we carry so much in there. So 25 deep breaths. And we repeat that 25 times. Now, I just got a little lightheaded myself. It's the first time I'm doing it this morning, and that's okay. You might notice a change in pressure. Some people, even if your eyes are closed, they see colors, they see speckles. That's okay. You're having a new experience, or a comfortable experience, so go with it. Sometimes I notice when I'm stressed, I'll start to cough when I'm doing my breaths. Just give yourself a second and reset. So you do 25 deep breaths, and then we go to the mirror. The idea is that you stand 6 feet away from the mirror, but if you are sort of this far away or close in it, it doesn't matter. The idea is that you're just starting the practice. And you practice affirmations. So the idea is to pick 1 to 3 affirmations, and you want to repeat them 6 times. The order in which you repeat them doesn't matter. You could have 3 that you repeat in line. You could repeat the first line 6 times, but the idea is that you're saying each one 6 times. And what we're doing is we're making room for that new pathway that we're trying to travel. So my current mantra I will share is that I go into the mirror and I acknowledge that I am beautiful and that I am loved and that I am enough. And so I repeat that I am beautiful and that I am loved and that I am enough. And if your emotions come up, let your emotions flow, right? It can be difficult to offer this compassion to ourselves if we haven't done it in a while. And we repeat these 6 times per line. And you can do this throughout your day, but the idea is start with a specific practice in time, whether it's morning, noon, or evening. 25 deep breaths, reset your system. Push some energy out that you've been storing, and then practice your affirmations. And this allows our brain to start to rewire and our central nervous system to start to settle and reset. That's all for now.